So, good day everyone. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that you're comfortable and safe, especially those that have been severely affected by the recent typhoons, and not to mention the still continuous movement of the ground. So, help yourself to be comfortable. For today, we're diving into two game-changing tools that help modern supply chain not just to survive, but to win today's competitive world. So our topic for today is Customer Relationship Management, or CRM, and Value Stream Mapping, also known as VSM. So these two work hand in hand to make supply chains smarter, faster, and customer focused. So let's start with a big picture. In today's interconnected world, customer expects product to be delivered fast, accurate, and with zero hassle. And because competition is getting tougher, businesses need supply chains that are efficient but also responsive to customer needs. Before, company used a supply-driven mindset, which they produce first before it is pushed later or it is disposed. But in today's setting, it does not work anymore. Now, businesses needs to be demand-driven. Everything starts with a customer. The customer wants, kung unsa ang kinahanglan sa customer, pila ang kinahanglan sa customer, and when will it be needed by the customer. So to make these shifts successful, we use powerful tools such as CRM and the VSM. So CRM, which helps us to understand customers through data interactions, and VSM, which helps us to make processes lean and eliminate waste. Together, these two tools, companies deliver exactly what customer wants without wasting time, money, and effort. Now, let's zoom into CRM, or Customer Relationship Management. Most of the people think that CRM is only applicable for management or customer service area. But in supply chain management, CRM also plays an important role. So CRM basically acts like a brain that collects customer data, analyzes their behaviors, and predicts what they'll be needing next. It has goals to boost satisfaction, loyalty, and of course profitability. In supply chain terms, CRM turns the entire system from being reactive, meaning that the company or the business only respond when demand hits, into proactive. From reactive to proactive, where businesses are already prepared because they've predicted the customer needs. So take Lazada as a great example. So during their big campaigns or kana ilang mga pakulo monthly, ilang pa sale, kana mga 11/11, 12/12, kana daghan sila voucher, demand explodes. So how do they prepare for it? So they do not guess, they use CRM data. So Lazada tracks browsing behaviors, purchases history, and even customer add to carts, but they do not buy it. With this information, their procurement, inventory, and logistic teams can stock up earlier and position items in the right warehouse. So this shows that CRM is in action, helping the whole supply chain move smarter and faster. So CRM also has roles in supply chain management. First, it converts customer demand signals into procurement and production planning, meaning CRM analyzes what customer wants and tells the supply chain what to buy and what to produce. So for example, a Nike online store noticed that there's a sudden spike of a specific item or a specific shoe, for example, an Air Force One shoes. So the CRM captures the trend and alerts procurement to order more materials. So while the trend is ongoing, they start to manufacture more of that goods before the stock runs out, which prevents the shortages and loss of sales. So loss of sales, it is because for us in the customer side, if we see that that specific item is not available, we may resort to find another supplier with that specific item. So in the business side, it is their loss if that happens. So next, it enables proactive and demand-driven operations. So meaning, instead of waiting for orders to come in, the supply chain prepares ahead because CRM predicts what will be in demand. So again, take Lazada as an example, since it sees through browsing data, viewing items before specific kanang activities. For example, the trend or the data shows that more people are likely to check out items before paydays or weekends. So using CRM, they anticipate higher demand and move specific trend items into fulfillment centers or near the area. Fulfillment centers near the area. So when order came in, delivery became more faster and smoother. So there are also other roles of CRM in supply chain management, including improving of inventory accuracy by matching stock with real customer preferences, enhancing logistic decision through customer behavior patterns, and strengthens customer loyalty by making the entire supply chain responsive. So those are just some of the roles of CRM in supply chain management. In short, CRM ensures that the supply chain doesn't just move, it moves with purpose, direction, and customer focus.
Good day, everyone. This is Laurel J. Bansig, the next reporter. But before we proceed, mag-quick recap lang sa ta kung unsa ang ilang discuss sa previous reporter. So, what is CRM? CRM is Customer Relationship Management. It is a system managing customer interactions to enhance profitability, loyalty, and satisfaction. Then, unsa man tong ilang upat ka book type sa CRM data? Transactional data, behavioral data, support or service data, and external data. And gidiscuss po to ang ihang benefits. So, this slide kay implementation, considerations, and challenges. So, karon of course, before implementing a system, kay na-adjud tay several nga challenges to consider. So first is data quality. If the data is wrong or duplicate, the CRM will give poor insights. Clean and accurate data is very important. So for example, if a customer's phone number is wrong, sales people can't reach them. Po na siya ka-challenge nga dili mao ang data nga gihatag sa customers kay of course ikaw nga company kay dili nimo makontak ang imong customer. So in data quality kay you must collect the accurate data to your customer para avoid na avoid na nga challenges. So next is integration. The CRM must connect smoothly with other systems such as ERP, inventory, and logistics. If systems don't communicate well, processes may break. So dapat ka na nga system kay magkatugma bito na siya kay usa na siya ka challenge if naay usa ka system nga dili tugma, for example sa logistics o sa inventory. If sa inventory kay napay stocks but in logistic nga system kay wala, so it means dira na dili link ang ilahang system, dili well managed. So usa po na siya ka challenges in implementing customer relationship management rather. So usa ni siya ka challenge kay for example sa marketing staff nga kanang na dili bitaw mag-inform nga kani nga product kay sale ni siya or nani siya kanang promo kay syempre dili ma-attract ang customer nga mo buy or mo tanaw na nga product kay of course ang sale ug ang sale biya kay attract dali ra bitaw ma-attract ana sa ang kung naay sales or kanang naabay promo ang product. So kanang challenge kay ma-loss na sila og kanang sale sa ilahang nga product. So karon na nata sa cost and return on investment. In setting up a CRM can be expensive because it requires software, training, and change management. Company must plan their budget carefully. So kani nga kanang challenge kay kanang dako gini siya nga challenge if nakay business no kay of course if nakay business kay dili man ay ginay kanang newly developed nga mga system no. So kanang syempre ikaw nga company mo sugal gikag invest ana nga system para ma-efficient pod ang imuhang work performance sa imuhang company. So kana nga challenge kay dapat mo risk kag mo gasto kag dako and mo risk po ka sa imuhang kanang mga empleyado nga instead of mag-work sila sa ilang nga assigned task ilang i-train sa system nga imuhang gi-invest para pod kay sa sunod syempre long term investment man pod na. Last is privacy and security. In CRMs store sensitive customer data. Companies must follow data protection law and keep information safe. So of course, kung unsa man ang imong na-gather nga information sa imong customer, syempre dili na nimo i-discuss sa lain nga tao kay kanang privacy man na sa imong sa nimo ug sa imong nga customer nga information. So mao na siya ang mga challenges nga dapat nimo i-consider if mo implement ka og CRM sa imong nga kanang company. So karon kay nata sa value stream mapping. So unsa man na ang value stream mapping? So it is a lean tool used to show the complete flow of materials and information from suppliers to customers. So for example, the Toyota, an automotive manufacturing, nag-use po na sila og VSM para ma-map out nila ang ilahang whole process and then ma-identify nila ang unsay ilahang waste. Then after that kay ma-improve nila ang flow sa ilahang process, which leads nga maka-add og value sa ilahang kanang sa whole nga process. Efficient na ang paglihok kay na-identify naman ang waste og na-resolbahan naman. So it means ma-reduce na ang production time. By seeing the whole process on one map, companies can identify waste such as delays, too much inventory, and mistakes. Then next is improve the flow of goods and information. Next is reduce environmental and cost efficiencies. So VSM helps organizations shorten lead times and improve overall efficiency. So based sa picture na nasa screen, the concept of completion, the VSM advantage. So ang VSM kay nag-help gid siya sa business nga ma-visualize ug ma-analyze sa business ang ilahang process or ang ilahang materials and information from start to finish. So dira kay of course makita nila ang whole process, and then makita po nila ma-identify nila ang mga unsang cause sa bottleneck, and after that unsaon pag-reduce sa waste para ma-improve ang efficiency sa usa ka company or usa ka business in result to enhancing product quality.
Now, let's proceed to the components of a value stream map. Value stream mapping uses a common components to identify value-adding activities, non-value-adding steps, bottlenecks, inventory levels, and other critical aspects of a process. So, these elements gives us a clear picture of how work and information actually move through the system. And while a VSM can include many different components, I'll focus on some common components so we understand what they represent and why they matter. First, we have the process boxes. So these boxes represents the major steps in the operation, whether it's manufacturing, service delivery, or any structured workflow. So inside each box, we usually find details like cycle time, changeover time, and uptime. So when we say cycle time, it shows the time needed to finish one unit. And changeover time, it reflects how long it takes to switch setups. And then uptime, it indicates how reliable the process or machine is. So looking at these numbers helps us spot slow or unstable steps that may be causing delays. Next are the inventory triangles. So this show where materials or products are waiting before moving to the next step. So when inventory builds up, that usually signals an imbalance between processes. So by identifying these points, we can highlight where waste is happening, especially in the form of waiting or overproduction. We also map information flows. These include order signals, schedules, instructions, or any form of communication that coordinate the entire process. Information flow is crucial because even if the physical process is efficient, poor communication can disrupt the entire system. Mapping it helps ensure everyone works based on accurate and timely information. We also have a material flow. So material flow component represents the physical movement of products or materials through the production process from raw materials to finished goods. It shows how materials physically progress through the system, highlighting bottlenecks, delays, or inefficiencies. Then we have time metrics. This include lead time, processing time, and queue times. So lead time captures the total time from customer order to delivery. Processing time is the actual productive time, while the queue time shows how long items sit idle between steps. So by comparing these times, we can see where delays occur and where improvement efforts should focus. And finally, we classify steps into value-added and non-value-added activities. Value-added steps contribute directly to what the customer needs, while non-value-added steps are forms of waste. So this classification helps us target which areas need improvement or elimination. So now that we know the components, let's look at a real example of how these elements come together in one map. Here is a sample value stream map, and I'll break down the key parts so we can understand what the numbers and symbols mean. So at the top, you will see arrows showing weekly and monthly orders moving between the customer, production control, and supplier. So these arrows represents information flow. This tells us how instructions move across the supply chain. Below that is the material flow. So from the supplier through the process A, B, and then C, and finally toward shipping and the customer. So each rectangular step represents a process box, just like we discussed earlier. So under each process box, we have a performance indicators. So the C over T there, or the cycle time, how long it takes to produce one unit in that process. So shorter is usually better as long as quality is maintained. And then we also have the C over O, or the change over time. So how long it takes to switch from one product or setup to another. So lower changeover times increases flexibility. And then we have uptime, the percentage of time the process is available and functioning. Higher uptime means fewer interruptions. And then we have also shifts or available seconds. So this shows total operational capacity per day. So by comparing these numbers across processes, we can see which step is slowing down the entire system. So for example, if the cycle time in process A is longer than the others, then it becomes the bottleneck. You will also notice yellow triangles with numbers. So this represents inventory levels, or how many items are waiting before the next step. So higher inventory numbers usually mean longer waiting time, higher holding cost, and reduced operational flow. These are the exact points where improvements are necessary. Now that we've seen both the components and the example, let's move to the next part, the steps in creating a value stream map. So there are different versions of the steps of creating VSM depending on the source. So in our case, we use the model from Six Sigma, which provides a clear and structured 7-step process. So the first one is identify the process. So you start by selecting the process or the value stream you want to map. This gives clarity and sets the boundaries of your analysis. So put yourself in your customer's shoes to determine their issues with your organizations. In a supply chain context, this could involve examining the flow of materials from suppliers to manufacturing or from warehouses to end customers. Problems could be delays in procurement, inventory shortages, inefficient order fulfillment, or bottlenecks in transportation. So identifying these pain points helps you focus on processes that directly impact customer satisfaction and supply chain efficiency. So next is draw the current value stream map. So you document the process exactly as it is happening today. So this includes material flow, information flow, and timing. So define the starting and ending points of the value stream, so including all relevant processes, departments, stakeholders involved in delivering the final product or service. So trace the flow of one unit through the process and consult personnel to ensure all steps are captured. So in a supply chain context, this means mapping every step from raw material acquisition to delivery to the customer, including suppliers, production lines, logistics, and distribution centers. So trace the flow of one unit, like the product or service, through supply chain, so consulting personnel across departments to ensure all activities such as procurement lead time, production cycles, and shipping processes are accurately captured. So the next one is assess the current state. So you study the map to identify delays, waste, bottlenecks, and gaps in communication. So observe the process and actions. Interview employees and stakeholders. So review the documentation and collect relevant metrics. So in manufacturing, this identifies inefficiencies, waste, and bottlenecks. When viewed from supply chain perspective, these inefficiencies reveal vulnerabilities such as excess lead time, inventory accumulation, or delivery delays that ripple through the entire supply network. So, for example, you might find excessive inventory holding cost or delays in supplier deliveries affecting overall throughput. So the fourth one is create the future state map. So this is your ideal vision, how you want the process to look once improvements are made. Based on the inefficiencies identified, define your vision for an optimized supply chain. So improvement goals might include reducing lead times, lowering inventory cost, improving delivery reliability, or increasing overall responsiveness. So your future state map should integrate solutions such as lean inventory management or cross-docking strategies, illustrating how the supply chain would ideally operate in alignment with organizational objectives. So fifth is develop a plan. So after visualizing the future state, you create an action plan to bridge the gap between the current state and the future state. Now, create a detailed action plan for improving the supply chain. So assign responsibilities to relevant personnel, allocate resources, and set timelines for initiatives such as process automation, supplier collaboration, or transportation optimization. So prioritize improvements based on their impact on cost, quality, service levels, and feasibility. So incorporate supply chain metrics like order fulfillment rate, inventory turnover, and lead time variance to measure success and ensure alignment with overall supply chain management goals. So the sixth one is implement the plan. So this is where the improvements are applied, such as adjusting workflows, improving communication, or reducing inventory. So execute the improvement initiatives across the supply chains while closely monitoring progress against KPIs and timelines. So provide trainings for teams on new processes, tools, or systems, for example, a warehouse management system or route optimization software, para ma-ensure ang smooth implementation. Continuously track performance and adjust strategies para ma-overcome ang mga supply chain disruptions or mga unforeseen challenges. And the last one, review and repeat. So, VSM is not a one-time exercise. So continuous improvement is necessary to keep the system efficient and adaptable as conditions change. Supply chains are dynamic and require continuous improvement. So after implementation, establish a system to regularly monitor and evaluate supply chain performance using key metrics such as on-time delivery, order accuracy, and cost per unit. So continuous review enables ongoing elimination of waste, adaptation to market changes, and enhanced customer satisfaction, fostering a culture of lean, resilient, and efficient supply chain management. By understanding the components, interpreting real examples, and following steps, businesses can reduce waste, improve coordination, and deliver volume more effectively.
Thank you so much, Sheila, for walking us through the components of a value stream map and a step-by-step approach of creating one. So now that we understand what a VSM looks like and how it is constructed, the natural next question is, how do we measure the performance of the value stream? So that brings us to the next part of the discussion, which is the metrics that allow us to quantify performance and the practical challenges organizations face when implementing VSM in real setting. So Once a value stream map is completed, the real power of the tool comes from the metrics we extract from it. So these metrics help us identify bottlenecks, waste, and improvement opportunities. So these indicators are essential for turning a VSM from a picture into a decision-making tool. So let's take a look at the key ones used in the industry. So first, we have lead time versus processing time. So lead time refers to the total time a product spends in the system, it includes waiting, queuing, delays, and movement, while processing time is the actual value-adding work that has been done. For example, a customer order sits in a queue for 60 hours, but it's only worked on for 6 hours. So the lead time there is 60 hours of waiting plus 6 hours of processing. So it is equals to 66 hours. That is the lead time. While the processing time is 6 hours. So this gap exposes delays. It is a common issue highlighted in VSM. Number two is process cycle efficiency, or the PCE. So PCE shows what percentage of the total lead time is actually value adding. So the formula for PCE is value added time divided by total lead time multiplied by 100. So for example, we have an example here for initial state. So total lead time is equals to 72 hours, while the value added time is equal to 6 hours. So in solving for the PCE, then we will have 6 value added time, which is the 6 hours, divided by the total lead time, which is the 72 hours, multiplied by 100, then we will get 8.3%. So this means only 8.3% of the process truly adds customer value. So we can have another example for improved state. So for example, lead time is reduced to 30 hours, but the same 6 hours of value adding time, but we have the same 6 hours value adding time. So we solve the PCE. So 6 hours of value adding time divided by the reduced lead time, which is a 30 hours, multiplied by 100. So now we have the 20% PCE. So this just shows that even without changing the process itself, reducing waiting can significantly improve efficiency. And next is the takt time. So takt time synchronizes production speed with customer demand. So it is a standard in lean manufacturing. So the formula for takt time is available time divided by customer demand. For example, if a bakery has 8 hours available per day and customer demands 160 loaves of bread, so we solve for takt time. So the available time for the bakery is 8 hours divided by the 160 customer demand of loaves. So when we solve this, we will get 0.05 hours per loaf, or 3 minutes per loaf of bread. So this just means that a new loaf should be completed every 3 minutes to meet demand without delays or overproduction. Next is the percentage complete and accurate. So this measures the quality of outputs at each step. It tracks how often work passes to the next stage without errors, rework, or missing information. For example, if 100 documents reach the next process but only 70 require no corrections, the percentage complete and accurate is also 70%. So low percentage complete and accurate signals quality issues and rework. So this is a major form of waste. So yeah, that's all for the metric. Next, we will proceed to, now that we've covered the metrics, let's talk about what happens when organizations actually try to implement value stream mapping. So research shows that VSM is powerful, but it comes with real-world challenges. So these challenges are what we will discuss. What I will discuss. So first, the need for cross-functional collaboration. So a VSM spans the entire supply chain. So from procurement, production, logistics, and even customer service. This means no single department can complete the map alone. For example, a bottleneck identified in production may actually be caused by delayed purchasing of materials. So without collaboration, teams may misinterpret the cause of the problem. Next is the time-intensive data gathering. So effective mapping requires direct observation of real process flow. So this includes measuring cycle times, recording waiting times, tracking defects, walking through the entire process, walking through the entire end-to-end process. So this can take days or even weeks depending on the complexity. Next is the resistance to change. Employees may prefer the status quo, especially if mapping reveals inefficiencies in long-standing processes. Example, workers may resist showing delays or shortcuts they use, worrying it reflects poorly on them. Then next is the data collection challenges. So not all times or defects are recorded accurately in many organizations. So some rely on estimates or outdated logs. For example, a machine operator might guess that a cycle takes about 2 minutes, but an actual measurement may show 2 minutes and 45 seconds. A significant difference, right? The next, sustainability of improvements. So after implementing changes, the new processes must be maintained and reviewed regularly. So without ongoing monitoring, systems often revert to old habits. So it is a phenomenon repeatedly noted in lean studies. So to summarize, metrics allow us to quantify where waste occurs, and implementation concerns remind us that real improvement requires teamwork, accurate data, and consistent follow-through. Understanding these factors helps organization move from simply mapping processes to actually transforming them.
And now we explore the powerful synergies between CRM, or what we call customer relationship management, and VSM, or what we call value stream mapping. So these two synergies, when combined, can significantly enhance business efficiency and customer satisfaction. So first, let's focus on now the CRM, or customer relationship management. So it's focused on understanding what specifically customer demands, expectation, and complaints. So it's about gathering insight into what customer want and need. While the VSM, or what we call the value stream mapping, it's provide how mapping and streamlining process to deliver efficiently. So it's about optimizing operation to meet those customers demand effectively. So together, CRM and VSM, the first is CRM is identifies what customer care about most. So while the VSM, or value stream mapping, ensures those demands are delivered with minimal waste. So easy to understand. So this integration lead a more customer centric and efficient operation. And next is, let's proceed into some real-world examples and evidence from literatures that highlight the impact of integrating CRM and VSM. So first is the CRM, or customer relationship plus supply chain management, or SCM integration by Saad et al. In 2022. found that CRM aligned the supply chain management or SCM practices significantly improve customer satisfaction and organizational performance. So this shows that how highlighting customer insights with a supply chain operations can lead to tangible benefits. So next is a VSM application. A study on the automotive wiring industry demonstrated how VSM or the value stream mapping was used to eliminate bottlenecks and reduce lead times by MDPI in 2022. This illustrates the VSM effectiveness in streamlining processes and improving efficiency. The next is the continuous improvement by Dugan and Yagil in 2019. It's highlight how VSM makes waste visible and enables structured improvement. This emphasize VSM role in studying inefficiencies and driving continuous improvement efforts. Next is the South Asia practices by Grab, and its leading Southeast Asian company uses real-time CRM or customer relationship management data through its AWS or AWS cloud and Grab merchant portal to adjust operation instantly. So this demonstrates how demand-driven analytics improves supply chain responsive. Mura dito.
So good day everyone. So today I will be discussing the best practices and recommendation for our report. So first one is adopt a customer first mindset. So first, overall, everything starts with the customer. Before we make any decision or improve any process, we must ask, how does this benefit to the customer? This ensure that all our action, whether in operation, production, or services, align with delivering ideal value. The second one is start with select SKUs or product families. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, we begin with few selected SKUs or product families. This should be important. So, high volume or problematic items, focusing on our manageable scopes help us generate quick wins and learn before scaling. So, the third one is map the current state. So, ato i-map ang current state sa company. So next, we map the current state. This involves documenting the actual flow of materials, information, and activities within the company. So the fourth one is integrate CRM data early. So we also integrate customer relationship management data early in the process. So CRM information such as customer, compliance, order history, and buying patterns help us understand true demand and pain points. So the fifth one is the use real-time data analytics. So to improve accuracy, we use a real-time data analytics. So this includes dashboard, automated reports, and digital monitoring. So real-time data analytics help us respond faster, spot issue immediately, and make better operational decisions. So the sixth one is we have to set clear metrics and baseline. So before implementing improvements, we set clear metrics such as lead time, cycle time, defect time, or fail rate. So we also establish baselines so we can measure whether our interventions are working. If we can measure it, so we can prove it. So the seventh one is ensure cross-functional teams and leadership support. So successful BSM requires teamwork. So people from production, sales, logistics, finance, and even the IT department must collaborate. And leadership support is crucial. So they provide direction, remove barriers, and ensure alignment across departments. So the eighth one is apply BSM continuously. So di na to putlon. So we don't treat BSM as one-time project. It must be continuous. After we map the current state and improve it, we move on to future state mapping. So this cycle repeats as customer needs evolve. And the ninth one is prioritize waste elimination that enhances customer value. So when removing waste, we focus on what customers actually care about. For example, faster delivery, fewer defects, better availability, and lower costs. We prioritize improvements that directly increase customer value. So the last one is build a culture of continuous improvement. So to sustain the gains, we build a culture where employees feel empowered to suggest improvement, challenge outdated processes, and experiment with solutions. So continuous improvement becomes part of our daily employees' work. So that's all for recommendation and best practices. So CRM and BASM are complementary tools in today's demand-driven supply chain. So CRM ensures customers' needs shape supply chain decision, while BSM on the other hand ensures processes deliver those needs efficiently. So when combined, they reduce waste, improve responsiveness, and build customer loyalty, key advantages in competitive markets. So organizations that embrace both can expect lower inventory costs, faster delivery, fewer errors, and stronger customer relationship. So ultimately, driving sustainable growth can make a better future for the company. So that's all today. That's all, and thank you. And